I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 8 English lesson on correlative conjunctions. And before we start with our lesson on correlative conjunctions, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 8. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of correlative conjunctions. All right. So our chapter is correlative conjunctions. Our subject is English language arts, grade 8. And the lessons that we're going to be focusing on under our chapter of correlative conjunctions is to use the correct pair of correlative conjunctions, right? And we are doing our lesson on aplusstudents.ca. All right, so correlative conjunctions, right? Correlative conjunctions are conjunctions used in pairs, right? So it is used in pairs. They are used to show a relationship between two equal parts of a sentence, right? Such as either two nouns or two verb phrases. And some common correlative conjunctions are where you maybe use words like both or and, not only, but also, neither nor, either or, whether or, and you can use if or then. So once again, correlative conjunctions are conjunctions that are used in pairs, and they are used to show a relationship between two equal parts of a sentence, such as either two nouns or two verb phrases. And some correlative conjunctions are both or and, not only but also, neither or nor. It's like saying neither nor, either or, whether or you can use if or then. All right. So now we're basically going to break down each one of the correlative conjunctions, right? And we see the correlative conjunctions. So if we look at the first one, which is both or and, right? When we use both or and, then it says the correlative conjunctions both or and not only but also. They are used to connect two things that are each other, that are each true, sorry. So the correlative conjunctions, which is both or and, not only but also, they are used to connect two things that are true, right? For example, both Natalie and I play piano. So both Natalie and I play piano. So it means that it is true that both of you are playing piano, which is Natalie as well as I. We are playing piano. So it is true, right? So that is basically how we can use, for example, both as well as and. For example, both Natalie and I. Because remember, already, if you say both, then both refers to Natalie and I. So whether you had just said Natalie and I play the piano, would it be the same as saying both Natalie and I play the piano? If we use not only but also, right? Remember we said that if we use both or and, not only but also, then it basically shows that things are, each one of them are true, right? So now we looked at both and, for example, both Natalie and I play the piano. But now we're going to look at not only but also. It says Tammy, so Tammy not only directed the show, but also wrote the music, which means that she did both. And it is true. So Tammy not only directed the show, but Tammy also wrote the music. So that is how we use the correlative conjunction not only or but also. If we look at the correlative conjunctions neither or nor, they are used to connect two things that are each untrue. It's neither this nor it's that. It's like saying it's not this and it's not that. That is like in simple English. It's not this and it's not that. So it's neither nor. For example, neither Ryan nor Emma has been to Canada, which means that they're saying that these two, which is Ryan and Emma, they haven't been to Canada. So neither Ryan nor Emma has been to Canada, which means that both of them haven't been to Canada yet. And now if we use the correlative conjunction either or, so it's like saying it's either this or it's that. So if we use the correlations either or, they're used to connect two possibilities or choices. And I made an example of me saying it's either this or it is that. So it's a choice. So it's like saying either Alyssa will answer the phone or it will go to voicemail. So either Alyssa will answer the phone or it will go to voicemail. So that is either one of those possibilities that it might happen. So it's either that Alyssa's going to answer the phone or the phone will just go to voicemail. That is the two possibilities. And then the correlative conjunctions, whether or. And remember, there's a difference between this word whether and this word whether. Right, guys? There's a difference between this word whether and this word whether, even the spelling. Because this whether that I'm pointing at refers to either being sunny, windy, cloudy, snowing, raining, right? That is the weather that you see daily. And this word, weather, right? It's like kind of to express some form of uncertainties. So it's like, I need to decide whether I need to go or whether I need to stay. Right? So it's also possibility or choices. All right, so we see the correlative conjunction whether or are used to connect two possibilities or it's connecting two choices. And it expresses some uncertainty about which is true. Right? So the word whether it connects the two possibilities or choices. So it's also to do with choices and expresses the uncertainties about which is true. It's like saying, let me decide whether I am going to the school party or whether I must rather just go home and take a nap. So you're expressing like some form of uncertainty, right? So I'm uncertain if I'm going to go or if I'm rather going to go home. And if we look at an example of whether or, right, then we have, I'm not sure whether Brian or Sonia borrowed my book. It's like where some uncertainties about it is true. It's like you don't know. So it's like stating possibilities or uncertainties. So I'm not sure whether Brian or Sonia borrowed my book. There we have whether Brian or Sonia. And if we look at an example, right? Not even an example, sorry, we said that it is whether Brian or Sonia borrowed my book. That is the example. And now we're looking at the last correlative conjunction. The correlative conjunction if or then are used to connect. So it's used to connect condition with its consequence. So if you do this, then you're going to be punished. If you keep on running, then you're going to fall. So which means that it connects a condition with with the consequence, right? If you do this, then there will be a consequence. So if this map is correct, then Mrs. Perez's directions are inaccurate. So if this map is correct, then Mrs. Perez's directions are inaccurate. If you swim on the deep side, then you might drown. Right? So these are basically correlative conjunctions that we made mention of, as well as the as possible examples. And once again, we said correlative conjunctions are conjunctions that are used in pairs. And we made a few examples of it, right? And they are used to show a relationship between the two equal parts of a sentence. It's like showing how it joins based on these pairs, right? So it basically shows the relationship between two equal parts of a sentence, such as two nouns or two verb phrases. And some common correlative conjunctions that basically shows the relationship between equal parts, right, within a sentence. The pairs, right, or how it's used in pairs are both or and, not only, but also, neither nor, either or, whether or, and if or then. All right, so we see that we are doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. So let's go to our tutorial lesson where we're going to use the correct pair of correlative conjunctions. So we're now going to look at specific sentences, right? And then we're going to complete the sentence with the better correlative conjunctions. All right, so most vertebrates, right, can perceive the same 5 flavors that humans can, which is bitter, salty, sour, sweet, and umami. However, genetic research indicates that whales, dolphins are unable to taste any flavor other than salty. So we need to over here say which correct correlative conjunction we need to add within the sentence. And if we add anything within the sentence, we can then say both whales and dolphins are unable to taste any flavor other than salty. Right? So we then added both and or and in order to complete the sentence or in order to show the better correlative conjunction. So it says now most vertebrates can perceive the same 5 flavors that humans can, which is bitter, salty, sour, sweet, umami. However, genetic research indicates that both whales and dolphins are unable to taste any flavor often than other than salt. Sorry. All right, so now we're going to look at another sentence. It says, complete the sentence with the better correlative conjunctions. Looking at the topographic map, I couldn't tell. We need to add our correlative conjunction over here, which is here and here. So looking at the topographic map, I couldn't tell Kansas, North Dakota was flatter. It turns out that Florida is flatter than both of them. And if we choose the correct correlative conjunction, right, to complete that sentence with a pair, okay, just to complete the sentence, right, then we can say, looking at the topographic map, I couldn't tell whether Kansas, right, or North Dakota was flatter. So whether or North Dakota was flatter. It turns out that Florida is flatter than both of them. and we are using whether or, right? All right, let's do the last one and then we're going on to our test. We need to complete the sentence with the better correlative conjunction. So we can, it says, the Kurt Vonnegut Memorial Library in Indianapolis, Indiana, features the first edition prints of all the Vonnegut's novels. The first, the very typewriter he used to write his novels, along with other memorabilia. Memorabilia. So now we need to choose the correct correlative conjunction. All right, so we need to choose the correct correlative conjunction. And if we choose the correct one, we're going to put one over here. Oopsie. So we're going to add the one over there. So it says, the Kurt Vonnegut Memorial Library in Indianapolis, Indiana, features the first edition prints of all of the Vonnegut's novels. We also need to add one over here because there's something that needs to be added there. So which means that the Kurt Vonnegut Memorial Library in Indianapolis, Indiana, features, we can say, not only the first edition prints of all the Vonnegut's novels, but also, let's make it proper, let me say, but also the very typewriter he used to write his novels, along with other memorabilia. So the Kurt Vonnegut Memorial Library in Indianapolis, India features not only the first edition prints of all Vonnegut's novels, but also the very typewriter he used to write his novels, along with other memorabilia. So there we use the correlative, which is not only, but also. All right, so now let's go to our test. And remember with the test, right, whatever we don't finish here together, you're going to complete on your own. So we're going to begin the test where we are using the correct pair of correlative conjunctions. And we're going to complete the sentence with the better correlative conjunction. So each of the three angles in a triangle measures less than 90 degrees. That triangle is considered acute. So we need to say whether, or we need to say or we need to say if, then. So we need to choose the correct one. Do we say whether each of the three angles in a triangle measures less than 90 degrees or the triangle is considered acute? Or do we say if each of the triangles, three angles, sorry, in a triangle measures less than 90 degrees, then that triangle is considered acute. And if we choose the correct correlative conjunction, right, to complete the sentence, then we're going to say if each of these three angles in a triangle measures less than 90 degrees, then that triangle is considered acute. So the second option is correct, which is if and then. All right. Urban agriculture is flourishing in cities around United States. City dwellers are producing crops, raising livestock. Many once vacant lots are now home to help and vegetable gardens as well as goats, chickens and beehives. We either need to say not only but also, neither nor. All right. So if we choose the correct one, we will say urban agriculture is flourishing in cities around the United States. City dwellers not only City dwellers are not only producing crops but also raising livestock. Many once vacant lots are now home to herb and vegetable gardens as well as goats, chickens, and beehives. So not only but also is the correct form of correlative conjunction within that sentence. We're going on to the next one. Most vertebrates, right, can perceive the same five flavors that humans can, which is bitter, salty, sour, sweet, and umami. However, genetic research indicates that whales, dolphins are unable to taste any flavor other than salty. So we either need to choose both or and, either or. So we're going to use both or and, either or. All right, so if we choose the correct correlative conjunction, it says most vertebrates can perceive the same five flavors that humans can, which is bitter, salty, sour, sweet, and umami. However, genetic research indicates that, and you mentioned the first one, which is both whales and dolphins are unable to taste any flavor other than salty. So we mentioned, or you mentioned, that the first one is correct, which is both, or and we're going to say That is correct. So well done. That is great. So bottlenose dolphins communicate with each other using body language, sound. So we need to add our correlative conjunctions in front of body language and in front of sound. They leap in the air, slap their tails on the water surface, and butt their heads together. They also whistle and produce high frequency clicking sounds. So we need to choose the correct one. Is it both or and? Neither nor. All right, so we're going to choose the correct correlative conjunction, right, to complete the sentence. And we'd say both bottlenose dolphins, they communicate with each other using both body language and sound. We're going to say both body language and sound. And they leap in the air, slap their tails on the water surface, so we either need to choose both or and, or choosing neither nor. All right, so we can say that both bottlenose dolphins communicate with each other using, didn't we say both body language and sound? I think we already did this one. And that one is correct. Because we said we're using both body language and sound. So that correlative conjunction goes perfectly in there. So we can just either use either or, if or then. So we can say either you flip a coin 100 times, or statistically it should come up heads 50 times. Any other distribution can be attributed to random chance or to an unfair coin. Or the next one is if you flip a coin 100 times, then statistically it should come up heads 50 times. Any other distribution can be attributed to random chance or to an unfair coin. So we need to choose the correct correlative conjunction. Is the first one, which is either or the second one, which is if or then, to complete the sentence. All right, so if we choose the correct correlative conjunction or the better correlative conjunction to complete the sentence, then we're going to say, if you flip a coin 100 times, then statistically it should come up heads 50 times. Any other distribution can be attributed to random chance or to an unfair coin. So the second one is correct. So well done. The second one is correct. All right, let's do two more and then we're done. Though threats and tensions ran high during the Cold War, do we say neither the United States nor the Soviet Union ever engaged in any direct large scale fighting with each other during the multi decade conflict? Or though threats and tensions ran high during the Cold War, either the United States or the Union ever engaged in any direct large-scale fighting with each other during the multi-decade conflict. So we need to choose the correct one. Is it either neither nor or either or? Neither nor, either or. All right, and if we choose the correct one, right, we will say though threats and tensions ran high during the Cold War, neither the United States nor the Union, ever engaged in any direct large-scale fighting with each other during the multi-decade conflict, right? And we said neither nor, and that is correct. So well done. That one is correct. Let's do the last one. So we need to complete the sentence with the better correlative conjunction. The influenza virus, which is H5N1, is transmitted from infected birds to humans. Do we say if the virus evolved into a strain that could be transmitted between humans, then it could quickly spread worldwide? Or do we say either the virus evolved into a strain that could be transmitted between humans, or it could quickly spread worldwide? Which one is the correct correlative conjunction? Is it if or then, or is it either or? Do we say if the virus evolved into a strain that could be transmitted between humans, then it could quickly spread worldwide? Or do we say either the virus evolved into a strain that could be transmitted between humans, or it could quickly spread worldwide? Which one is the correct or the best correlative conjunction to complete the sentence? All right. So if we choose the correct correlative or the best correlative conjunction, then we will say the influenza virus H5N1 is transmitted from infected birds to humans. And if the virus evolved into a strain that could be transmitted between humans, then it could quickly spread worldwide. So if and then is our correct or best correlative conjunction, right? All right, so that is it or the end of our lesson on correlative conjunctions. And we said correlative conjunctions are conjunctions that are used in pairs, right? And they show the relationship between two equal parts of a sentence, such as either two nouns or two verb phrases, right? And we said some of our correlative conjunctions are both or and, not only but also, neither nor, either or, whether or, and if then, right? All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on correlative conjunctions. Thank you very much for joining the class as well as for interacting. Remember, you're going to have to complete the rest of the test, right, on your own. So thank you very much for joining the class. Till next time, have a good day further. Goodbye.